Hello, and welcome to the Entry Level Adulting Podcast. On today's episode, we're really happy to welcome a special guest, and because of that, everything is a little bit more casual. So we wanted to hop on here and let you know that, quick trigger warning, you're going to be hearing some keyboard sounds and pen tapping sounds in today's episode. If that kind of thing might bother you, we'd love to direct you to our other episodes. If not, thank you for listening and enjoy. Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Vivian.
And welcome to the Entry Level Adulting Podcast,
where we help you to navigate the confusing world of adulting,
one challenge at a time.
Welcome, friend.
Welcome to the Entry Level Adulting Podcast. I am your host, Elizabeth, and unfortunately today we are not joined by our amazing co-host, Vivian, but instead I am joined by my intelligent, smarter than me, better looking than me, not as good a personality though, older brother, Daniel. No, Daniel's great. He has been kind enough to join us, and we previously recorded another podcast about Real ID and identification, so you can go on and check that out. But today we're going to be talking about men's fashion, men's looks, and, overall care, if you will, because one thing I admire about my older brother is that he takes care of himself. He's not a slob, and he does the research as to how to take care of his skin, his hair. He does research into good clothes, and so as a result, he is better dressed than me, better knowledgeable about me, better knowledgeable about skincare. I still use a face mask that he did not want. But I would not consider you, personally, I wouldn't really consider you metrosexual. Would you consider yourself metrosexual?
That just means, I honestly forget what the connotations of that mean.
It's like a dude that's like really, I don't know, put together in his appearance, I guess. I don't actually know for sure. I just think of like David Beckham or something when I think metrosexual.
Got it. Yeah. Well, David Beckham has a team, but he probably into it as well. Like, yeah, it's just taking care of yourself. I just try to be simple as possible about things.
Yeah, you're pretty minimalist. So what have you found in your research? Well, first of all, what got you into it in the first place? Like, what made you start researching to begin with? Because I feel like some guys haven't even gotten there yet.
Well, it's with skincare because I had like an epiphany. It was like, there's no way that, like, I know everyone doesn't have like the same skin, obviously, but there's no way that, like, scientifically anyone can't have like decent skin, because it's just like a science thing, and I just didn't know like the correct way to take care of my skin, because I just thought anyone who had good skin was just like privileged somehow,
genetically blessed.
Yeah, genetically blessed. Like they don't, and some people are and like just have really good luck but terrible like skincare,
Yeah, that's true. Vivian is one who has beautiful, flawless skin. The irony that she worked in dermatology never ceases to astound me, and I will give her crap for that the next time we record.
She doesn't? You're saying she doesn't take care of herself?
I'm not saying she doesn't take care of herself. I'm saying she just never really dealt with acne like the way you or I ever did. So for context, Daniel and I both had pretty terrible skin.
Well, we both had to do Accutane.
Yes, we did. And that's the real stuff. That's the real deal.
Well, yeah, I don't know enough about dermatology to know if, like, had we had better skincare routines back then, if we would have still had to do Accutane.
I'm sure it would have helped, but I think part of it, the genetic portion of it, as far as I understand, and I'll probably talk to Vivian about this more, so, pending that other podcast, but my understanding is, at least for Accutane, we had such large pores that the whole purpose of Accutane is that it shrinks your pores. And so that's the genetic component. Like, you are born that kind of determines how large your pores are to start with, and so it makes you more susceptible to acne, which I am actually currently wearing a patch right now, but my acne is nowhere near what it was pre-Accutane. So I don't know if we still would have or wouldn't have needed to actually go on it. I think it helped, but now it's a matter of maintaining, right? Because we have the help and it helps shrink our pores, and so our pores are actually smaller now, which is great. But I still get, obviously, I have breakouts right now, and if I don't take care of my skin properly, which I personally, all honesty, am kind of lazy about it sometimes, but I'm getting better because I'm learning from Daniel and my other friends that have done more research on how to just daily maintain your skin with more care. So what have you learned as far as like the daily routine of scientifically, how have you learned how to take care of your skin?
Yeah, just watched a ton of YouTube videos. There's a subreddit called Skincare Addiction, and there's one called, I think, Asian Beauty. And you just read the top posts on there. And then I basically, yeah, read the top posts and they tell you like what to do. Then I tried to see the differences between Asian Beauty and Skincare Addiction. Um, Asian Beauty talks a lot about the Korean skincare routine, which is a set order in which you apply different skincare products. And so I tried to follow that, and because it's like just a good rule of thumb.
You introduced me that. Yeah. What's the order again?
The basic one is like cleanser, and then your active products, and then a toner, and then the heavier creams like your face moisturizer, and then sunscreen.
So you say active products. That's like your exfoliant, right?
Yes. Some routines leave out the actives, and at least for my skin, it's definitely needed. So like actives are the ones are like the products that actually, yeah, like you said, exfoliate your skin and clean out like the dirt that's in your pores. So I don't know why some routines leave that out. Maybe because like some skin types are sensitive to it, but I use one every day.
Yeah, for reference to Daniel and I both, I think, have combination oily skin, so we definitely need that. But some skin types are a lot more sensitive than ours.
Yeah, so I just watched some YouTube videos as well. There's this guy named Hiram. He basically just reviews a ton of skincare products, and you kind of look at the routines he uses and realize that most of them he talks about are like luxury level products. So after a while, I was like, wow, like the stuff I have is like way too expensive long term. So there's another channel called Dr. Dre. She's a dermatologist on YouTube, and she basically reviews like drugstore level products. So I just slowly tried to substitute the expensive stuff I had with like the cheapest possible thing that still worked for me. And now in total, I probably spend like, I don't know, $10 a month amortized. So like I'll buy a cleanser that lasts like 5 months. I'll buy the active thing I use that lasts about 3 months. And I just switched to this massive face moisturizer that'll probably last like 7 months. So you can find stuff that works that doesn't cost a lot.
I appreciate your accurate use of amortized. That was nice. But you're right. That's kind of what I started doing. So I started looking at Sephora Drunk Elephant. That started working for me. But again, that's a little pricier. And so I'm slowly starting to look for more drugstore level. I recently found a Burt's Bees exfoliant that's been working really nicely. But what I'm not as good at, and Daniel's a little bit better than me at looking at, is doing the research as far as what ingredients are in each one. So, you can basically find the similar active ingredient, and that's the thing that's working for you. Everything's packaged a little bit differently, but a lot of them contain the same ingredients and therefore will do the same for you. So it's being more knowledgeable about those specific ingredients. So is there anything that like you've found works for your skin?
Yeah, I'm Googling it right now, but I I used to know more ingredients, but the main ones the main ones I had to learn about are the ones in the active products because that is what I've found to really help me the most. There are some good YouTube videos that talk about the ingredients in actives. One of the ones I believe I use is salicylic acid. That's like a popular ingredient. But the other one that I looked into was hydroquinone, which is, I believe, banned in certain countries because it essentially bleaches your skin. So I was like, it seems pretty bad originally, but it's like clinically proven to reduce dark spots, and at least on my skin, it's bad because if I get a pimple, the mark will last for 6 months. It
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Right. We both have hyperpigmentation,
That right.
which is what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, so hyperpigmentation is like one of the main things that I think one of the main barriers to people like, wow, I have bad skin. And it's like, well, maybe not. You just had pimples and it just doesn't go away.
You can
Yeah,
still see
it just
them.
doesn't go
Yeah.
away.
Even if they're not
So
active.
I was trying to find a way to reduce that time to fade the mark, and hydroquinone does that. That's the main ingredient is hydroquinone. So I had a product from just watching one of the YouTube videos that it was literally $70
Oh,
for like this much of the stuff. And if you just I just looked up the main ingredient, and there's one on Amazon at the same level of concentration for like $10. So just googling by ingredient is super helpful sometimes.
would you be able to kind of show what your current routine is? Like what products you're using
You
right
want me to
now?
get them?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
do.
Okay. Most of these are from Dr. Dre's channel. So
Okay.
another tip. When you're like looking through all of the subreddits and just the the when you're reading about skincare, they use a term called Holy Grail, and that basically means like, hey, this is my Holy Grail of skincare product. It's basically like, oh, this is like my favorite product. So if you just compile like each person's Holy Grail and like cross-reference what's the most popular, then it's usually like a good product. So this is Dr. Dre's Holy Grail cleanser. So,
CeraVe.
yeah, CeraVe, CeraVe, I don't know, but it value size. This has lasted me like at least 3 months so far, and it's like not. It's like halfway done, but it's the cleanser. I use this in the shower actually.
Oh, you do? What type is it? I can't quite see.
It's a foaming facial
Is
cleanser
there like is it like for sensitive skin?
for oily
Yeah.
skin.
There you
For
go.
oily skin.
For oily skin. Gotcha,
And
gotcha. So you do that in the shower?
yeah, so I do it in the shower. Sometimes I just do it like by itself in the sink, but it's super easy and light.
So that's your cleanser. Like in the 5-step program, that would be your cleanser?
That is the cleanser, so that's the first step. And then next, I use this COS RX. COS RX. It's not
Right.
focusing. Two COS RX poreless power liquid. So it's in Korean, or it's a COS RX is a Korean brand, but this is the active ingredient I was talking about, or active product I was talking about.
And that it's what's the ingredient that you get from
Yeah,
that?
I'm looking at the ingredients list now. The main one looks like salicylate.
Oh, it's the salicylic acid or
Yes,
whatever that is.
I believe so.
And what does that do?
Oh yeah,
Do you
it's
know? Do
it's
you
a
remember?
BHA. I forgot about. So the active ingredients are called BHAs, beta hydroxy acids, and that's basically the thing that like actually cleans your skin. Betaine betaine salicylate is what's in this one, and it's
All
good
right.
for oily or combination skin. And yeah, this is what this is what actually like helps to clean your pores. So yeah, you can just like spray a little in your hand and rub it on your face. And then this is like $25. So it's probably like the most expensive thing that I have.
25 bucks isn't too
I
bad
know.
though.
I
I've had
know.
more expensive than that.
Yeah, the cleanser, I believe the value size might also be like 20-25.
Yeah, but that's for the
Right, right.
big one.
And then I only use this at night. This is the thing for hyperpigmentation I was talking about. It's
The Korean
it's not
thing?
Korean actually. It's the different.
Different.
It
Okay.
has the hydroquinone.
Gotcha.
It's the different dark spot correcting serum, and it has 2% hydroquinone, which is the skin lightening ingredient. That's really strong. So that's why basically if you use this and then go out in the sun, it's really bad for your skin. So
So you have to do it at night
I
only.
only do it at night, and I only do it probably like 3-4 times a week.
Do you ever dilute it with water, or do you put it like right on your face and
I just
dilute
put it
it?
right on my face and only spot treat with it. You're not supposed to rub it.
Okay, so it's not for the full thing.
No, no, no. And yeah, this was like under $15, I think.
Wow, that's great.
I just switched to this was from Dr. Dre's channel, but this is the face moisturizer. It comes in a easy pump bottle.
Cool. What's it called? Anacream? Nanny-cream?
Vanicream.
Vanicream.
Vanicream moisturizing. This was her favorite moisturizer, and this actually took longer to get used to because I was using a lighter moisturizer, but wanted to try a cheaper one. And it's a bit heavier than what I was used to, or thicker, I guess. But it's pretty nice. You can use it like anywhere on your body, and it's good for your face as well.
Did you notice when you first made the switch if you started breaking out a little bit from it and then it calmed down, or
So yeah, that's a good point. So with any product that you switch to, there's I forget what it's called, but it's basically a period of time where your skin has to get used to the new product. So if you break out after immediately after switching to a new product, you should like stick it out and then evaluate. And that I forget how long the time period is, but at least if you break out like a day or two after trying a new thing, you should wait like at least 1 or 2 weeks. I think some people may even say a month, but I I thankfully haven't had too bad of an experience with the product where like it
made you stop using it?
yeah, like it just would never it just continually caused me to break out, you know?
Hmm.
So in general, yeah, the those types of breakouts should go away.
Yeah, I remember when I first moved to California, I started breaking out like crazy because the climate was different. It was a lot drier here, and I needed to get like a heavier moisturizer or just a different one because mine wasn't cutting it. And that was interesting as well, how it took a couple weeks for my skin to adjust just to a different climate. So that makes sense that you'd have to take a couple weeks for anything, really.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you use now?
I just a drugstore one. It wasn't something that I researched that heavily. I don't even remember what the name was. I just picked it up at Target because I was kind of desperate, and it actually worked out pretty well. So you just kind of, I think to your point, your cleansers, like everything matters, but the stuff you have to pay more attention to the ingredients to, unless you're trying to be a conscious buyer as well, like clean, organic, that kind of stuff, is the actives. Everything else is,
Yeah.
I feel like not quite as
Well,
particular.
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't know, but I could be 1,000% wrong.
some people get pretty nerdy about the ingredients for like any product. Um, I would try vanicum. Like it might work for you.
I would definitely consider it. I'm probably gonna buy everything you just mentioned.
And then the last one I have is the sunscreen. They say it's the most important part. I'd argue it's the active, but yeah. So for the sunscreen, it's like uh, you can do everything else in the skincare routine, but if you go out in the sun and have hyperpigmentation, you're screwed. So I have tried like a lot of different kinds of sunscreen. Not because they weren't working, but just because I was trying to find the cheapest thing. I don't. And right now, this is what I'm using:
Classic.
Neutrogena,
The
a
Neutrogena.
100 plus. I,
That's amazing.
I think because the one sunscreen I was using was from what's it called? I think it's Claire. Yeah, Claire's with a K.
Mm.
They're a Korean skincare brand, and they had this sunscreen that was like I believe like 50 SPF, and it turns out like no, it was 25 SPF.
Oh, that's not much at
And
all.
and it turns out like the manufacturing line like uh it wasn't the formula wasn't correct, so like they were shipped the bottle itself was like only like 5 SPF.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I was like, what? But I really liked the how it felt on my face, so it was just
Right.
it was a trade off. But this is good because um, well, yeah, it doesn't really cause me to break out. It's 100 SPF and it's lightweight.
So do you put that on after your moisturizer then?
This is the last step.
Yeah.
This is after
Do
everything
you do that
else.
inside? Or like if you know you're not going outside that much, do you put it on every day anyway? Are you good like
Um,
that?
so usually, I've gotten bad because like I just work from home. I don't go outside a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the morning, I just do the cleanser and the moisturizer. But um, I think it is best to put it on every single day in the morning.
Yeah. I know. I'm bad, but that's probably true. But yeah, you have to prioritize where you want to spend your money. And if you don't want to spend a ton of money on skincare or you want to find cheaper alternatives, then there's definitely some drugstore brands and products that are available if you want to do the research like Daniel did. So thank you for that. Thank you for doing my work for me. And I will go try all of those things. So, aside from skincare, because I think it's pretty cool that you as a guy feel comfortable talking about that and researching that. And I hope that will inspire other guys to do the same. What about like hair and clothing as well? Is there anything that you found for tips and tricks like that?
I'm still trying to learn about hair because I don't use like any products mostly. Just water.
But you cut your own
I
hair,
do
don't
cut
you?
my own hair. That was a money saving thing as much as like mostly money saving. But all the if you're like an Asian guy, you're the main thing you have to think about is how your hair on the sides grows outward before it grows down, which it looks really bad when it's short. So yeah, the main
It's just not in style.
I guess it's not. And all of the K-pop stars, what they do, I didn't know this until like this year, but they actually perm the sides of their hair like down.
Really? I did
So
not know
the
that.
the hair on the side of their head is permed like flat, and they like train the hair to like grow downward. I don't know, something like that.
The Asian guys
I
struggle.
know, because it looks really bad when it's short. So I wear a lot of hats.
You did have a bit of a poof as a
Yeah,
kid.
I wear a ton of hats because it's hard to like train your hair to grow flatter. But yeah, there's YouTube for haircut tutorials as well.
But because you wear so many hats, do you have to add volume then on top so that doesn't get too pushed down?
Um, not really for me, because it'll always just go back up.
Do you use any product at all? As far as like a, I don't know, pomade
I've
and stuff?
tried. I actually I haven't tried a mousse or anything. I think the main popular thing right now are pomades. I I have tried those, and those do help, I guess.
What do they do? What even are they?
It's like a firm paste that you rub out in your hand and then through your hair, and then it makes your hair like stiffer.
Gotcha. So like a mix between like a mask and a gel or something, or a mousse maybe?
Kinda, yeah. It's not a gel.
Styling tool?
It's a styling thing. Um,
Gotcha.
but the one thing I don't like about that is that like it makes your hair just like kind of dirtier than if you
Mm.
the natural oils that eventually so like after you use shampoo, like it takes like 2 or 3 days for like the natural oil to come back into your hair, and that's like the best styling stuff in my opinion. If it's just the natural oil on your head, but the pomade sometimes cause me to break out, so I just don't use it as much.
That's true. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that's a great point because sometimes the hair products get down and then your forehead gets crazy.
Yeah,
Speaking from experience.
yeah, it's not ideal. In terms of the fashion stuff, I don't know too much about fashion. I just read male fashion advice on Reddit.
Where do you read the male fashion advice?
Oh, it's a subreddit.
Because you dress very well. You dress your body very well. The things I tell my friends is I feel like half of fashion is knowing what colors are flattering on your body, which you can look up like the Four Seasons colors that our mother preaches like crazy. We're both winters. But also just knowing how to dress your body shape. And you can dress your body shape very well.
I mean, there's kind of really tall guardrails for Asian guys. If you just, it's super easy because you just go to Uniqlo basically, and everything on Uniqlo has been vetted by the entire nation of Korea. So you can't go wrong in that sense. The main colors are like navy blue, black, white, and that's it mostly. Gray, yeah, gray.
If you ever
Um,
wanted to wear some colors, look out.
yeah, there are no prints, no color really for Asian guys.
I disagree. I
But
think it's possible.
I'm sure it's possible, but like that's what looks good, I guess, right now. But in terms of fit, yeah, like you want to work out enough so that the clothes fit well. And then this is on every single fashion blog, but the Lululemon ABC pants are like a staple for like literally everyone.
Yeah, they do look nice, I will say. Your Lululemon pants. I made fun of you at first when you told me you were buying Lululemon pants,
Nah, yeah,
but
nah.
they do nice tailoring and they look nice for your frame, especially because you got shorter legs like I do too.
That's the main thing I learned is if you're short like me, I'm 5'8". Basically, if you're like under 5'9", if you're 5'9" or shorter, I think you can't wear like boots without looking stumpy, and you can't wear shorts without looking stumpy. So the solution is to wear pants that at least show a little bit of your ankle to make it look like you're taller, which means like you have to wear like flat shoes, I guess. And if you're wearing boots, then um, I haven't really figured out boots yet, to be honest.
That's
But
okay.
um, yeah, you need your pants to not cover your ankles because you want to appear taller.
Yeah.
And same thing with shorts. You need your shorts to be short enough so that the space between the end of your shorts and your shoes is like much longer. It is as like long as possible without making it look like your shorts are too short.
Right. So like a little above the knee maybe or something like that.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. Cuz as a short girl, you kind of run into similar things where like for boots, like I can't wear certain boots cuz they just hit me way too high on my leg than they're supposed to. So you have to get kind of like amended ones or 3/4 length is really great for me as far as like a sleeve cuz a lot of times sleeves are too long or things like that. So it's interesting from a guy's perspective how you address those things.
Yeah, I mean, I like Lululemon because they let you pick the waist size and the length. Sometimes you can't do that, and but there are a lot of stores that like let you do that. So yeah, it's just about getting the right length for your pants.
I feel like for you too, you like to invest in less clothes, but just like higher quality. Whereas I'm like cheaper and more volume.
Um, maybe at least in terms of pants, yes. I only have about um 5 pairs of pants. I don't wear them too often, I guess, but yeah, they're definitely like the most expensive parts. In terms of like shirts, like Uniqlo men's cotton shirt is like the easiest thing ever. They have navy blue, black, white, gray,
All you
um,
need.
and they last. I think they're like $10 or something, and they last like a really long time. And yeah, I usually size up because like I want I want to put my clothes in the dryer because it's easier and they shrink in the dryer. So
That's a hot tip. That's real. Because cotton shrinks really a lot more than I ever anticipated will.
well, sometimes it shrinks differently, and with Uniqlo, I think it shrinks more than others. But yeah, I just wear t-shirts. A black t-shirt you can wear anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like jackets as well, I guess.
You do like jackets. That's true.
Jackets are cool. Um,
What's your favorite jacket that you have right now?
it's called. It's like it's not a bomber. I have a bomber jacket, but those are kind of popular right now.
You're too cool for that.
Yeah, trying to find what it's called. One sec.
Where'd you get the bomber from? Do you remember?
Uniqlo. But my favorite one is from Ben Sherman, and it's called Signature Harrington jacket
Signature Harrington.
or Classic Harrington. Yeah, Classic Harrington. It's like it looks like a windbreaker basically, but it's like lined.
Nice. What about you mentioned working out so you look good in your t-shirts. What are some things that you found? Because I know you have a high metabolism. So, what are your tips and tricks as far as working out goes?
Just consistency. I haven't been working out enough.
Don't look at me. Okay.
You you gotta go for your mental health. You gotta go for your physical health. You have to work out. That's the bottom line. So, um, the best thing that I found for me is to do like light cardio, um, paired with weight training. So I ride my bike to the gym, and I guess that's the cardio for me. But also just incline walking on an incline on the treadmill is also good. And then if you want to do more like running, that's definitely good as well. Probably better. But for weight training, the most bang for your buck are like the compound lifts. So deadlifting, squatting, benching are like the big ones. And in terms of deadlifting, I've tried pretty hard to. You have to have like really good form to deadlift consistently. And I've hurt myself before, which kind of like set me back. So if you're not gonna completely focus on the form, an easier way is just to do the hex bar or trap bar deadlift, where it's not a bar, it's like a hexagonal thing you pick up that works like some of the similar muscles.
But it's a little safer. So if you're saying like if you're starting off, instead of if you don't know how to do good form for deadlifts, maybe start with that hexagonal lift instead.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, honestly, like I guess it's kind of neglected, but like just working out your back is the best. A lot of people will like focus on their arms or chest, but if you work out your back, everything else will like follow.
That's actually real. That's very real because I've neglected my back and now I need to work it out.
Yeah, no, back's the best.
Hot takes. In your opinion, real talk, because we are brother and sister, do you think that guys deal with, image, self-consciousness, that kind of stuff? I don't want to like say in comparison, but like, because women, obviously, it's more talked about, but do you think guys deal with it as much as women and it's just not as talked about or less? Like, what's your take?
I mean, with guys, like it's I it's different in some ways because like some guys just don't care, and I think it's easier for guys to not care about their appearance than it is for women to not care about their appearance. Like with guys, it's different. You gotta be like the ideal body for a guy is like really arms, abs, big back, big chest, everything like weight training stuff. And that's why the Marvel like program is like talked about a lot on the gym blogs. Most of those guys, there's controversy, but people think most of those guys did steroids to get where they are. But honestly, like if that's what helps you get to that level of training, then maybe it's worth it. But
When you say worth it, like, do you think guys feel pressure to look that a certain way and therefore to get to that level?
yeah, for sure. Um, Yeah, and yeah, there's definitely pressure to look that way on dating apps. Like the only thing to go off of are the pictures. So you want to put like your best picture out there, which means like putting your best body out there, really. So just training for that. There's pressure to train for that. In terms of girls, I'm sure there's still pressure to go to the gym and look like an Instagram type model, in terms of like
Yeah.
physical traits.
So you're saying like, yeah, I would definitely say that, there's, the pressure right now is which, is its own thing. Look, you have big lips, big boobs, big butts, tiny waists, um, skinny thighs. Yeah, there's of course pressure. I find that women, or well, I don't know, it's hard because I think we're able to talk about things a little more easily, because at least with my friends we can talk about this stuff if you're in healthy friendships at least. But I've noticed that guys maybe don't talk about it as much, like their insecurities. Do you feel like you can talk about that with your close guy friends?
That I've been blessed to have some pretty close friends where we can talk about those, but I know other guys don't have that. I know it's harder for some guys to talk about, yeah, their insecurities for sure. And I'm pretty sure I have no evidence for this, but there are more guys who are like doing counseling on average. No
That's awesome.
evidence for that. That's just my feeling right now.
Are you noticing that it's like more acceptable now for guys to say that they're doing counseling and therapy and stuff and talking about those things
Probably, yeah,
in more recent
yeah,
years? That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's important to talk about. It's important if you feel like you don't have guy friends or girlfriends to discuss those things openly and vulnerably in a way that's like productive and constructive, that you should definitely think about talking to a therapist about it. I've been in therapy. I got no shame to admit it. It really helps my mental health. It just gives me tools for how to deal with anxiety and different things like that. So it's cool.
yeah. No, for sure. I've done counseling. I've had panic attacks, and they're not fun. So, yeah, anyone who suffers from them should definitely talk to somebody because, I mean, in the long term anxiety just wreaks havoc on you.
Yeah, agreed. Is there anything else you want to add as far as care, different ways that you've found help you take care of you?
You have to find a way to be disciplined. And I'm still trying to find a way that works best for me. But sometimes with the self-improvement stuff, I even want to do like too many things at once. And it's much, much better to find one thing and completely integrate that into your life before doing another thing.
Little bits at a time.
Yes.
But being consistent with it.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to get better about that too. Oh, consistency is like my nemesis.
Yeah, it's much better.
Thank you for coming on here and talking with me. I really appreciate it. This has been fun.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's our show for today.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you on our next podcast.
We hope you continue to face adulthood head on. We've got this.
Follow us at Entry Level Adulting on Instagram, intro and outro music by @Deku_ on Twitch.
Bye, friend.